So, ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute honor for me to be here at PISAN meeting to talk about the art and fusion of networking. This is my first time doing a speech at PISAN. I've been a member for a few days, initially, yeah. But I'm here, I'm excited to be here, so I'm gonna give you a little bit speech about closing the deal through networking and what that means. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever been in a situation where you're asked to come up with a concept in terms of marketing? You know, somebody just comes up to you in a workspace and your manager says, come up with a concept, starting from the beginning. Or remember, or, for example, you're a salesperson and then your manager says, can you please come up with a sales strategy on what you're going to do, how you're going to achieve your numbers, okay? In my period as a salesperson, I remember a specific time when my numbers were literally just down. And, you know, I needed to make my numbers in terms of the volume, in terms of also making the revenue. Now, I knew also that if I make my numbers, obviously I'm going to get that the 3-figure commission on top of my salary. So it's a daunting moment. So my strategy was, how do I go about making my revenue? How do I go about making my numbers? So I knew very well that if I hit my number this specific month, everything else, my morale will grow, and obviously my managers also look up to me and say, you know what, you're doing a great job. Now, there came a specific time when I met a prospect. So this prospect client was, I knew if I get them on board, just get them on board, this is it. The problem was that when I met them, we had a meeting with the individuals, and the meeting went well. I sold my features and benefits. Everybody was happy, and I knew this is it. But just before the contract, when I gave out the contract, they came out and said, listen, Popieni, before we do anything, just give us a day to go run over the numbers. I said, no problem. How many days do you need? No, just one day. Call me tomorrow in the afternoon. 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock. Perfect. 3 o'clock, I give him a call. Found out the gentleman had to do an emergency travel, so can I call back next week? Next week I called and said, listen, Popieni, I haven't really gone through the contract. My manager is not here to sign it off. Can you give me more time? It went on and on and on for 2 months trying to get this contract. Now, what that led me is I became frustrated. You know, it gave me that, I keep going back. I mean, if you read, for example, the sales books, they tell you, never give up. Motivational speakers, never give up, keep going back. And I did all that, but at the end, it also looked like I was irritating them, and it also looked like even my colleagues were saying, listen, know when to quit. So what hit me was, our manager then decided, you know what, we're gonna have a top 50 client, networking session with our top 50 client. And I clicked and I said, you know what, I would like to invite this specific prospect client. And they gave me a go-ahead. I invited them. When I invited them, I specifically even hand-delivered the invitation to the right person, okay? So the finance manager and the MD eventually came up, and they were at the network session. This was a chance for our company to thank our top clients for their business, and it was an opportunity for us, our company, to tell about what are our future vision, where we're getting into, and then also to showcase in terms of what are we doing at the moment, how are we investing into our network. So what I did then is that when they came, I introduced them to other clients of ours who are loyal to our company. That actually even literally just built the morale. Now, at the end of the day, when I started giving them information, I tell them, listen, I really want you guys on board. It was automatic that they were going to sign. The next day, I signed the deal. So I signed the deal. They're very happy. Through networking, I managed to get these guys on board. Now, if you look at what I've just presented to you now, the scenario, it tells you now I had to go back and think to myself, why didn't I close this deal earlier? What was it? What is it makes it so different that I eventually closed this deal? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share with you 4 tactics that I think are very important for a salesperson. Now, look, there's a lot of tactics out there. You go on Google, you get it. But these are things that I think worked for me that I would like to share with you. The Number one is, as a salesperson, know that you are a problem solver. You're not just there to get the money. You're not just there to get the clients. You're literally there trying to find out what is the gap and how do you fulfill that gap. So knowing becoming a problem solver is about understanding what are you actually selling and how is it beneficial to that specific person that you're selling. A few years ago at Polytechnic, I had a late night class, and most late night class end around 9:30. A friend of mine, we went out of the class, and as we sat in the class, we could see that it was raining, it was dripping. So when we went out, we literally, everybody know about the lecture halls 207. When we come out of Polytech, you have to rush to get a taxi all the way to the main gate where you can shade up and you wait for a taxi and you rush to the taxi. And sometimes the taxi is not going your way, you go back, you have to go back. So anyway, so I got a taxi. The next day, again in the same late night class, the friend of mine, 10 minutes before we end off, the friend of mine said, listen, I'm quickly going outside, I'll just meet you outside. I was like, okay, oh, sure. As we went outside, as if the lecture hall was finished, I found that at the entrance, she's standing there with a box full of umbrellas. Now, she's standing right at the front of the gate that when you go out, you're definitely going to the rain. And people were buying, and Meme were like, please, wait. Immediately, people bought out those 10 umbrellas. This later on, I asked her, so how did this come about? And say, you know what, Popieni? Yesterday, after the rain, I went to Chinatown to get an umbrella. And then umbrellas cost $10. So I bought 10. And I came here, and I sold them for 30, so I made double my, triple. So I literally made triple my commission, income. So I thought, wow. So what did I do? I went back to Chinatown, I got 10 umbrellas. Okay? The next day, that night we came out, it wasn't raining. But if I was smarter, I would have come early during the day, sold them while it's sunny. You know? So the thing about being a problem solver is that you have to identify a gap. Okay? If you're selling laptops, go to a company that probably likes laptops and they have a problem with laptops. Okay? Sell features and benefits. The things that you are selling, the features that you have, how is it beneficial to that person? Okay? So you have to understand that aspect. So the second one is meet key decision makers. Now, in my previous story that I just told you, not the first one, the people that I met, they were excited, they were good, but they had to follow a chain. They literally need to follow a chain in order to sign off. And in that aspect, I wasn't speaking to the right people. Okay? So there are three people that you must know if you're a salesperson. You must meet the three people, or at least understand who they are. Okay? You must know who the MD, CEO, or the general manager is. Okay? The second one is the finance manager. Why is it important to get the finance manager? He looks at the numbers. He sees that contract. Okay? And the second one is the procurement manager, in most cases, maybe the sales manager on your side. Okay? These three people. Now, in my case, in my first story, I was meeting junior procurement specialists, and they were excited. They loved what I was telling them. The only difference is the communication that I gave them might have been a communication breakdown on how exciting it was when they communicated to them. That's caused the delay. Okay? So meeting the key decision makers when you're selling something is very important. Yes, meeting a reception is very good. You need to, they are gatekeepers. Yeah, they're very gatekeepers. So, but always ask, listen, if I have to put a contract now, who will sign this? No, it's my manager. It's a possibility that I can meet them now. Okay? And then the third one is why we are here, networking. Networking is about using your platform to meet, greet, and grow. It's not just about, the previous story, like I mentioned also, when I brought the managers to the network session of our company, I made sure that I introduced them to our clients that are pro us, that could actually become brand ambassadors of our company. So that made the sale easier. So networking like this is about selling yourself, what are your features, and also connecting the dot to that person as well. Okay? It's sort of like what you say, for example, Adele said she met Mohammed, and there's something that connected to him, and then it gets to you. So it's very important, but how do you network actually? You need to introduce your prospects to your other clients. Again, like I mentioned, brand ambassadors. Very, very important. And your network is your net worth. Now, net worth can be financially, it can also be socially, and it can also be spiritually. What I mean by that in terms of if I'm talking to you and you're talking about the Bible, for example, you're talking about spirituality, that it becomes a worth to me. Okay? If I'm here and we're talking about Facebook, and I love Facebook, and you're telling me all these new sites that you can go to, it uplifts me. So understand that your network is your net worth. Very, very important. Okay. So, and the last one is retention. Retention, the direct definition of retention is keeping something, making sure that you always go back to that person. Okay. Now, retention usually happens after sales service. Salespeople, you agreed, the contract is signed, you get the contract, you take the papers, you give it to finance, you tell the operation team, please deliver, the relationship is done. Then you wait for them to call you and tell you, listen, can you still deliver? But in most cases, clients stay with you when there's a relationship, when there's that human connection. And then how you retain clients is that give after sales service. After sales service is literally having to go back. Is everything okay? Are you guys happy? Did you know? Having that relationship outside the office. Okay? But how do you retain? It's exactly what I said here. Update. Why don't you update the client on progress after the sale? Okay? Giving them that progress. And they feel like, oh, wow, okay. Oh, I didn't expect that. No, I just want to let you know, by the way, your shipment that we got is on its way. It's very good. Yeah. Are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. Sharpness. See you tomorrow. And then, how about the first invoice? With the world now, all invoices are electronic. Either electronic or you send them via email. How about the first invoice of that client you hand deliver? Mr. Customer, I just want to thank you very much for your business. And here's the invoice. If you would like, you and I can go through it one by one. Then you go through it, and then if there's any questions, they ask you the question. It gives, again, that human connection that, yo, these guys care. Yeah? And then talk future growth projects. Okay? As you talk to the person in terms of retention, also visit them and say, listen, let's go for coffee. And then you talk about, so what's happening in your business? Well, at Let's Work Commercial Group, well, we're not only just doing sales training, we also offer customer service training, and we also offer CVM preparations. Okay? And how about your business? Oh, well, at the moment, we are about to grow big. We're building a new office, which is sponsored by Let's Work Commercial Group by the guy named Popiani. Oh, really? So it's about, when you talk about future growth, the customer also understands that this guy is interested in my business. He's interested, and he's programming myself on how to grow with me. Okay? So both your company, know both your company and your clients as well. Understand and speak about it. And the last point is, why don't you invite your client to your office? Okay. So I'll invite you to my office and see our process flow. Okay. So at the end, when you give the client all this information, at the end they feel like, you know what, it's a retention, it's a relationship. So now you're in a relationship where it's not just about the money making, it's about literally how do we grow together. There's that human connection. Okay. Now, in a recap format, if you understand that you are a problem solver and you have identified the problem, okay, and you meet the right people to tell them about the problem, and you network with them in such a way that the relationship is not just about business, it's about you inviting them here and there, outside work office, you network and you link them to the right people to grow their business. Eventually, you'd start also retaining them in terms of now you got them, the relationship is now stronger. You're able to come back at any time. Next thing you know, you guys are running together in a sports club. Hey, how did you get here? No, I'm chasing you, but you don't know. But anyways, I'm trying to retain you. So once you understand this process flow, what do you get? An effective salesperson that can close the deal with immediate effect. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. I hope you learned something. And there's so much to do about networking. Even being in this platform here, there's a lot of people that you will see. Network with the people and understand. And oh, by the way.
Oh, seriously?
Here at Let's Work, this is the type of service that we give. Thank you very much, Erica.
Do you have any questions for Popieni? He's awesome. He'll hang around.
Got business cards. Yes.
You're welcome.